Om Shanti. It's the month of June, and 24th of June is the anniversary of Mama. And so it's a time that we especially want to honor her and remember her. And my thoughts go back to a long time ago, 1957, when I first had the privilege of meeting Mama and Baba. Both of them were in Delhi Rajuri Gardens at that time. And at that point, my parents had decided to travel abroad to settle in London. And I had accompanied them to meet relatives and also to meet Mama and Baba. And the image of Mama is still very, very strongly in my mind. It was an image of pure love, truly, truly an amazing, wonderful mother. And just that memory of Mama's form of a goddess of love is so clear that I can emerge it within a moment. And I was 8, so there wasn't much awareness of spirituality as such, but of course the power of love touched the heart. And Mama gave me a little box, and in those days plastic was very new. Today we have different thoughts about plastic, but it was a very pretty pink plastic box filled with nuts. The nuts got used up pretty fast, but I kept that little box with me, bringing it to London, and it stayed on my dressing table all the way through till I was about 15. And I used to fold my handkerchiefs and keep them in that little box. And so every day was a reminder of Mama. And I could see why Mama had given me this little gift, so that there would be that memory and that connection with her. So it was a gift of love, but it was also a gift filled with profound wisdom, knowing that this would be a way to stay connected. And it was that same year, in 1964, when we traveled back to India, and Mama was in Bombay. She just had some surgery, and I can imagine she must have been in a lot of pain. And yet still, when my mother asked if the children could come and see her, Mama had agreed. And so my younger brother and myself both went along. And when I was 8 and I'd met Didi Jyanti in India, I'd started to meditate. But by the time I was 12, I wasn't interested in meditation anymore. And so now, in front of Mama, my mother had a question for Mama. And she said to Mama, "Mama, can you not tell them to meditate?" And Mama looked at my mother, myself, and again at Mama, at my mother, and she made a comment. She said, "Leave her alone. She'll meditate when she's ready." And the same was also applied for my younger brother. And so Mama's very simple advice is something that I share with parents even today. Don't force your children to do anything. Don't push them to do anything. Just simply allow them to do as they wish, and at the right time. If they've had your nurture of love and truth, then definitely they will be on the right track. There were several questions that my mother had asked Mama earlier when she had come to Pune in 1957, but also later on. And I'll share some of those with you because, again, they give an insight into Mama's profound understanding of practical life, but also her understanding of wisdom and her application of that. My mother asked her, and I happened to be there at that time, so I saw that interchange between Mama and my mother. And my mother said to Mama, "Mama, when can I become like you?" And Mama asked her to clarify. And my mother said, "I want to become as sweet as you." And Mama's response was, "But you are that already. You don't have to try. Just remember that that is who you are." And just imagine Mama pointing out that that sweetness and that greatness is already within the soul. We don't have to struggle, we don't have to fight to try and attain it. And so it was a very beautiful reminder of the original qualities of the soul and being able to reach that stage. And earlier on, when my mother had just finished the course in Pune and had started on the journey of meditation, my mother had another question for Mama at that time. And she said to Mama, Mama, I've been coming now for a little while. I've understood the basic teachings and I've started to meditate and I've changed my diet and so everything's okay. But I really feel that now I should just carry on at home. I don't need to come for further instruction or anything. And this is because I know that all of you have been meditating for 20 years. I'm never going to be able to catch up with all of you. And so better that I just take things a little quietly now and do as much as I can. And Mama's response again was very beautiful. Mama said to her, if there's a show that has a particular time of starting, then different people with different vehicles will start their journey to get to the show on time. And so if someone has no vehicle, they're going to start walking. They have to walk a long way and they're going to take a long time. So they leave home very early. And then maybe someone's got a bullock cart and they're going to come on that, they're going to get a ride. And so again, Mama's point was they can leave a bit later, but they'll still reach on time. Maybe someone has a bicycle, again a bit later. Someone has a car and they can leave a bit later. Someone has an aeroplane, they're going to leave even later. And if someone has a rocket, they just need to leave a few minutes beforehand and they're going to get there. So Mama gave this as a very simple example. And so Mama said, when we came in the early days, we didn't have the clarification of knowledge. We had love in our hearts and we had the power of faith, but we didn't have anything else. And all of you now have clarity of knowledge. And so you can move very, very quickly. The show hasn't yet begun. There's still time to get there on time. And so you make your effort well, and definitely you will be having a good seat at the show. And so that was what persuaded my mother to actually begin her regular practice of meditation and study of the Murali and so on, that she continued with whilst we were in London. Mama would look at the situation and would be able to give a very practical answer to everything. And so Mama truly was Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, the goddess of wisdom. But also, Mama was Lakshmi. And I mean that in two ways. The one who is the embodiment of all virtues. You could see Lakshmi, even though her costume was a white dress or white sari, but yet you could see the beauty of Lakshmi and her radiance of virtues shining through in her behavior and in her mannerisms. And then Lakshmi, not just in the future, but now, in the sense that Mama's simplicity and renunciation inspired so many to be able to surrender all their assets and resources to Baba, so that they could, that all of that could be used for world service in some form or another. And so when they would see Mama and how she had renounced everything to be able to surrender to God, they would say, Mama, we also want to surrender. We also want to be able to contribute something, so that then the task of God's renovation of the world, renewal of the world, can happen more easily. And so Mama was the inspiration for many brothers who would want to share what they had with Baba, but also young sisters who wanted to surrender their lives to become a goddess like Mama. And so truly Lakshmi, the one who is the giver, the one who gives inspiration, the one who gives wealth, the one who gives everything. And so I see that Mama's role in the yajna together with Baba has been a very powerful and beautiful one that continues to give us inspiration till this time. Om Shanti.